Good morning, Internet, and welcome back to Minecraft Beta 1.8. As promised, or perhaps I'm making good on a threat. Yes, still not ready to show the ocean monument. I got about maybe 2 or 3 more hours worth of work to finish up. Then we'll have the big reveal, as it were. But this is an old map from a multiplayer server that I ran back in 2011-ish. Yeah, you can see some other stuff back there. We won't be looking at that. But I really don't know what version of the game this was built in, because I was mulling around over there, back where where everybody else built their stuff, and it was a survival multiplayer. But as admin, I would spawn in all kinds of materials and stuff for other people to use, and there's like a warehouse over there, and it makes references to the signs on the wall that label the chests make references to bloodstone and cloth, which that's like in dev stuff. I don't know how old that is, so hopefully everything will be all right in here. I haven't gone in here yet. See this one, sea base Constellation, main entrance. This sea base, unlike the other one, I actually did cheat in all the materials, so this, I didn't have to smelt all the glass or anything. This was kind of cheaty, but it was a multiplayer server and my second sea base. I'm still playing on peaceful, but again, it was, I guess, normal difficulty when it was being built, so the half slabs and the tracks prevented mobs from spawning down here. It was not too bad. This is also a lot smaller than the other one, because I forget why we shut the server down. I think there was an update, and just nobody cared anymore. So this one actually had kind of a theme, at least, unlike the other one. So we had, the idea was to have a dome for each of the zodiac constellations, and sort of branch out. Unfortunately, this ocean was also not quite as deep as the others, so we had to deal with it's not as grand, I'll put it that way. Although later on I'll show you I did do some map editing to create a nice deep area, but never came to fruition. So I guess we'll start with Dome Ares, which is the most boring one. This is also the first dome that was completed, if you can call it a dome. It's just a nice little tree area. I tried to be mindful of interior decorating a little bit more. Just create some environments. I mean, nothing special. I mean, really nothing special. I hear squid. There was also a light rail transport system planned, which again never really came to fruition because the project ended under construction. I guess something was planned for out there, but I didn't also really have, like, for the other sea base I had a blueprint. Like, I went to MS Paint and I kind of laid out on top of a map rendering of the world how I kind of wanted things to lay out a little bit. This one was just kind of doing whatever. Like, yeah, I'll go this way for a while, and didn't dig out a tunnel in the dome. And this is the main source of bread, which I never really used, but it's here. I like this, the way this is set up with the barrier here, because the water's behind it, and you can just run down here, and nothing falls into the water, so you don't have to like jump in and get it. Yep. This whole world is very cheaty. Why do I have a furnace on me? Wait, what? How do I open my inventory again? What the hell? I've forgotten how to open my inventory. Or at least E is not working. That's interesting. Okay, so it's Agriculture Dome Gemini, and we have Topiary Dome Taurus. We finally get into the deeper part of the ocean. Man, I actually remember digging this out too. That's kind of weird. This was 2011-ish. Yeah. And part of the problem with making domes like this is lighting, because especially you can't turn the brightness up. Oop. Nice little platform here. Got a stream, I think. Nope. Okay, missed the water. That's okay. That's okay. Lighting, like this, you have this big open space, and you know it's all covered, so it's going to be dark, and there's no way to really brighten the place up. I tried putting the glowstone on the bridge here, and it helps a little bit. But even if you torch all this down here and make it nice and bright, it's going to be dark up there. Like the volume of the space is dark, and it's difficult to make a good mood. So yeah, I remember digging all this out. This was fun. This was actually dug out completely, and then I put all this dirt back in to create like a landscape. I'm trying to freshen the place up a bit. Where do I want to go next? I'll go this way. We got minecarts. Minecarts, go away. Torpedo dome. Emergency escape hatches. We are going to see if these still work before we leave, because I don't remember. There was a version update that broke these, and it was kind of sad. Here we go, habitat sector. Those escape hatches used to be quite a lot of fun. Yeah, these are just like little. They're meant to be, well, habitat modules. So this would be like a little nature area that you could spend time in if you're feeling down. Just barely big enough to hold that tree. This tree wasn't even naturally grown. These trees are not natural. These are grown, like piling up logs and manually placing the leaves because it's just so tight in there. But then underneath would be like a little living space, and I think one of these has a basement with a bed. Yeah, this one has like a little room underneath, and the same thing up here. I think there's 4 of them. Oh, this one has a basement, if you can call it a basement. It's got a door and no bed. I thought there was a bed down here. I mean, that would be like your living quarters, and this would be like your kitchen and living room type of thing. And then up here would be just a place to hang out. A little greenery, little scenery. There's another one, no basement. Ooh, record player. Nothing in it. That's a shame. Unfinished tunnel. I did not build this portion. I think somebody else built this. Ew. Lighting glitches. I don't know the story behind this, but clearly, the hell? Okay. I don't know what these people had in mind. Let's go down here. Clearly abusing the free materials. This is kind of weird. I know I didn't build this, and I don't know the person who did build it. I don't know what they had in mind, but okay. Okay. Let's sprint back. Yeah, see this, I really preferred all this to be, glass and everything, but the ocean is just not deep enough to have it. Look, we have to go all the way up here to get back to the water. Although this sector, I just pushed the cart. The industrial sector is something that needed to be shallow, I think. So this I pointed out. The idea here was that this is where all the materials and everything would be put together. If this was like an operation, this sea base was an actual colony or something. This would be where all the raw materials would be processed and gathered. This doesn't actually go anywhere. It's just cosmetic. It kind of turns the corner and dead ends. I don't think I ever actually had a plan to put a proper mine in, because we had unlimited materials. So why would you do that? This is a little thing. just a little thing to play with. The idea is that the cart would go through here and get like cooked or whatever. We have the mine carts and furnaces, and this version of the game didn't have anvils, otherwise there'd be anvils all over the place. Little places to park the carts. Doop. Doop, doop. 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 Doop, 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 doop. And shuffle the mine carts around. There's lava all over the place. These are iron blocks. I don't know. Plenty of coal. Yeah, oh, it's getting night out. These would be like ventilation shafts, because obviously there'd be a lot of fumes and everything in here. So this dome deserves to be near the surface. Those are supposed to be fans, by the way. So let's... Alright, you can't push the carts once you're in them. Will it work? Will it work? Go, yes! Hooray! Whoosh, 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 whoosh. And ouch. Oh, okay. Well, beats walking. Torpedo Aquarius. This, I think this is the largest dome. Oh, wow. This isn't even finished. Oh, man, I'm in the wrong version of the map. Wow. No, and there's a version of this map where this is all filled out and these are all nice. And, oh, man, I gotta see if I can find that. Alright. Alright. Oh. You know what, let me cut here and I'll see if I can find it. Be right back. And we're back. Alright, so after much searching, took me about an hour to find this, I did manage to find a version of the map that has the rest of the sea base. What I think happened is we shut down the server, started a new map, and then I manually copied the chunks of the sea base into the new map because I was looking at a rendering of the map and it is all kind of screwed up. But iron. Anyway, this is where we left off, and this is what it looks like when it was finished. We have the rail gantry here, because the rail system was supposed to be throughout the base. No swimming. I think there is a way. Like, okay, so we have the main dome here again with the problem with the volumetric lighting. Also, I found out that this was actually this must have been in the alpha to beta transition. That might have been why we started a new map, because the original map was definitely in an alpha version of the game, which explains it doesn't really explain the bloodstone and cloth references, but I don't know. So we come in here, and this is a multi-level creeper damage, I guess. Never fixed. Multi-level. And I also learned that this was actually the first sea base that I built, and the other one that I showed in the last episode was actually the second attempt, which I don't remember it that way, but going just by the dates on the maps, it must be. It must be. Gantry crane, we got just like a sphere here, and we got a couple more domes here, and I like it's sort of partially flooded, like they never finished pumping out this one mega structure when they built a whole bunch of little structures inside of it. It doesn't look bright enough, but that's something, with the old games, it was never really, the game used to be very dark in the lighting, and I'm remembering that quite vividly now, and it was always kind of a problem. Of course. This is another thing too, like from the last sea base when it was really dark at the lower levels for no readily apparent reason, it's like that again. So it must be It must have been the old map was an alpha and the new map was in a beta. Beware of cacti. Okay. So yeah, anyway. In Dome Aquarius, the idea was that there was a multiple smaller domes within the dome, and each one of these smaller domes was its own like biome sample, or at least that was the intent. So we have the desert here, then we have western levels. This is nothing in particular, it's just like an opening. Never really finished decorating this place, I guess. Got this nice open spiral staircase up to a platform here, just trying to make use of the volume of the space. Nothing too exciting though. I like these little waterfalls that go from one platform to another. Okay, I guess in the older versions the water didn't cushion your fall nearly as much. Because in the latest release of the game I can fall 20-30 blocks into a single source of water and not take a single lick of damage. Okay, this should go up into that sphere. Yeah, kind of this tower. Yep, okay. This would be the bottom half of that sphere. And coming up here, this would be the upper half of that sphere. Yay. Glass. We can look out. There's a mid-platform of there and bridging across. And I think, after loading this map, I seem to remember why I stopped. Bringing it into the new map, they must have added the winter biomes. And with the automatic ice generation, if you remember in the winter biomes, whenever there's exposed water that can see the sky, it tends to form ice. So what I tried to do is tried to exit this way. And these are some... Ooh. Wow, I can't see anything. These are some map sectors that I edited in. It must have been before I had the utility to lower the floor of the sea to make room for a sea base. And what I did is I manually edited the map to basically bring all this down to bedrock layer. So there's bedrock all the way down there, and then it goes straight up to the sky. But when I first opened this map, I was dead. And thinking about it, the reason is probably because that's a winter biome. So I decided to leave from here and try to swim up to the surface, which you can just barely do before you start suffocating. But as I got to the surface, it was covered in solid ice. And of course, you can't break blocks very quickly when you're underwater, so I drowned. I just drowned like a rat. Main exit. Main exit upper levels, okay. Good thing I put those signs there, because otherwise I would definitely have been lost. It's too dark to see anything. Anyway, I'm glad I could at least recover this, because I don't remember how long it took me, but, work is work, and it's been a bit of a nostalgia trip. Thank you for putting up with me. I promise that by the next Minecraft episode on Monday, I will have everything ready for the ocean monument. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. Get back in. I'll have everything ready. Let's do it. Screw it. Yeah, you can see the ice forming. Everything ready for the ocean monument, and I have a nice little time-lapse thing that I've been working on, which is what's been taking me so damn long. Okay. Yeah, so imagine I'm swimming up, and then ice. Crap. And we suffocate. Yeah, so I think this is why I ultimately abandoned the map. Because this was definitely after the multiplayer server closed down the first time. And it was reopened with a new map. Huh. Oh, that wasn't too bad. And we're back here again. Reopened with a new map. And I think at that point everyone just kind of lost interest because you had to start all over. And it just kind of ruined everything. Updates ruin everything. There are boats over there. Why are there boats? Oh! Right, the escape pods. Let's check out the escape pods. So the escape pods, Okay, that one's... Nope, they've been used. Okay. So anyway, what would happen here is that's a dirt plug that protects you from... keeps the water out. And in this obsidian area, there would be a block of TNT that's activated via some redstone through that opening. And the whole thing is built so that it would survive the TNT blast. You just had to replace a little bit of redstone, place a little bit of dirt in there to put the TNT right in the middle, and then close this off with cobblestone. And the cobblestone would protect the player from the blast as well. So you would flip this lever, which closes the door, and also sets off the TNT. The TNT would explode, take out the dirt plug, and take out the cobblestone plug. The water would come down into this area, and you would be sitting in here with a boat. And back in that version of the game, when the boat was underwater, it would rise very, very quickly with quite a bit of force, and you would just pop right up to the surface like a cork, and you'd be safe and sound. And it was a good, quick way to get out of deep areas because the boats would rise so quickly. You really, you wouldn't drown. You'd be up quick enough, even from the very bottom. You'd be up fast enough that you wouldn't drown. In the later versions of the game, they changed it so the boats rise very, very slowly, and the whole thing was just broken. So, anyway, that concludes the tour. There's a lot of work just to get that one last piece, but I'm glad I did it. So I'm going to try to make my way out of here, and thank you all for watching, and as always, have a nice day.